Good day to everyone. I'm WONG, the third year student of SECRH. Today, I'm going to present my final year project, E-commerce of Product and Services. My supervisor is Madam Lizawati binti Mi Yusuf. First and foremost, let's talk about the background of product and services that happen in University Technology Malaysia Skudai. There are two major entities in UTM, which are seller and also buyer. They are come from the UTM community, which include students, staff, or even hawker. Usually, the seller will post their product or services information on social media, for example, food and beverage, clothes, watch, haircut services, photo shooting, or even the teaching class. And then how does the current existing system works? For the product size, the seller will advertise the product on social medias such as WhatsApp, Telegram, Facebook, or even Instagram. And once the buyer is interested, they will ask seller some of the questions and the seller will need to answer them. Once the buyer decides to make an order, the seller will check either it is free delivery or not. If not, the buyer will need to pay the extra delivery charges. If yes, they can directly complete the payment and let the seller pack and deliver the product to the buyer. So how does the current existing system works for the services? First, the seller also advertise the service on their social media and then the seller need to answer the query of the buyer. Once the buyer decide to make an order, they can choose either door-to-door service or not. If no, the buyer need to go to the specific location. If yes, the seller will come and service them. Once the services is complete, the buyer will need to complete their payment. And then what is the problem faced? First, the seller not have the right platform to advertise their product or services because as we all know, the social media is full of all information. In every second, the new message is keep replacing the old message. It will affect the exposure rate of the seller, product, and also services. Second, the handwritten orders are less systematic and it is time consuming. Third, it is inefficient method for buyer to place order by personal message or calling because not all the seller is free in every moment. Some of the seller is quite busy, so they may miss the message or calling. This will affect the seller sales also. Fourth, the buyer might unaware of the quality of the product or services provided, especially for the new buyer because there is no any reference or comment for them to look at the quality of the product or the services provided by the seller. So we propose the e-commerce of product and services which is called as PNS mobile applications. PNS application is an ideal platform to showcase the seller product or services by category. Second, it is a real-time online order management system. Third, the buyer can order at any time after checking the availability of the product or the services. They don't need to wait for the reply from the seller like previously. And then the fourth thing is it can evaluate the seller trust, services, and product before making any decisions. Next, all record will be stored systematically in database. It is paperless and manageable. Besides, buyer can easily track their parcel with the app notification. For example, when a parcel is out of delivery, a notification will be sent for the buyer. In addition, an auto-generated sales report can add the seller improvement. For example, the seller can do a comparison between the sales in January and February and do some case studies to know that why the February sales is lower than the January. And last but not least, it is an affordable platform for students to start their entrepreneurship. Lastly, the network and security element of this proposed system is user authentications and verifications. Second, the password encryption and strength verification. Instead of storing the plain text password, we will encrypt the plain text first before the storing. And then for the input verifications, when the user need to register for this system, they will need to fill out their personal information, for example, the email. We will verify either the email is correct or not. And then for the access control list, there are 5 users in this system. First system, admin, seller, buyer, and also rider. All of them have the different right. Lastly, we apply the client-server architecture in this PNS system. That's all from me. Thank you.